This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scotty Vegas. Ryan Baker at the controls. Ohio State escapes with a 21-17 win over visiting Nebraska. The Buckeyes, Scotty, were favored by 25.5. They were trailing in the fourth quarter, but they ended up pulling it out. We're going to hear from you guys on the show today. We have a lot of tweets we're going to read. If you want to call the show at 614-821-9710, 614-821-9710. We want to hear your thoughts on Ohio State, the Penn State game next week, how you feel about this team. I'm sure you guys are not pleased about yesterday. It's nice to at least win. This could be a lot worse. We could be sitting here talking about a loss, but Scotty, they just don't look like a national championship team.
No, they don't. And the funny thing is I brought up the national championship odds this morning, and Ohio State still has the second best odds to win it all. And gosh, what the product that we saw yesterday on the field just does not look like a championship caliber team. And our expectations with the money that was spent in this offseason and the team that was built, our expectations extremely high, and they were awful yesterday. They were awful. It was really disappointing. We're going to have 2 weeks ago after the loss to Oregon, we had a little therapy session. I feel like today it's going to be more of an airing of grievances session, because it has just been one of those days where it was just so frustrating on all facets of the game.
Festivus is coming up.
Yeah, for the rest of us.
We're approaching Festivus season, so we'll have to have the feats of strength along with the airing of the grievances.
I like it. All
right, so let's start with some of the comments from Twitter here. Let's start with Terrell Jackson. He just cuts to the chase here. He says it's pretty obvious giving Ryan Day $20 million in NIL wasn't as effective as it should be. Should OSU open it up to at least $30 million next season?
Well, if you can, yeah, of course. But here's the deal. You know, we talked about this because going into this season, we thought this was a extremely, extremely well-built team, right? And we know the amount of money that was put into it. Now, the big question mark going into this year was the offensive line. And here's the deal. In that bowl game against Missouri, it was maybe one of the ugliest performances by a position group we've ever seen at Ohio State with the offensive line. And they did not get much better. That, yes, they brought in McLaughlin. And, yes, losing Simmons is an absolutely devastating thing for this team this season. But why is the depth for Ohio State as horrendous as it is on the offensive line?
Because of poor recruiting and I almost said a poor job in the portal. You get Seth McLaughlin this year, you get Josh Simmons last year. You can't really expect you're going to get like 3 starting offensive linemen in the portal every year. If you get 1 really good one in the portal every year, I think that's reasonable. 2 would be great, but recruiting misses for sure, Scotty. And I love that they have this all-star wide receiving crew every year. That's nice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, how about spend a lot more time on the offensive line?
Yes.
The fact that Zen Michalski is your best backup left tackle, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. That was, I almost said as bad as I've seen. We did see Enoch Vamahi play in the Cotton Bowl. That's probably as bad as I've seen an Ohio State player who started a game on the offensive line just get abused the entire game. Now, we remember Taylor Decker getting abused in the game, but that was against Khalil Mack. Okay, and Taylor Decker ended up being a really good player, still is. First-round pick. I'm not talking about that. No, there was no Khalil Mack out there yesterday. But it might as well have been Khalil Mack going against Zen Michalski. And now, here's the problem, Scotty. If Zen was the best option, now you're going to a worse option? Mm-hmm. And if that is Donovan Jackson going to left tackle, if that's the best option at left tackle, now you have a problem at left guard, unless you think Luke Montgomery all of a sudden is going to be the solution at left guard. So now you've taken left guard. If left tackle ends up being a solution with Donovan Jackson over there, now you've made left guard a question mark. It's poor recruiting, and this is what happens. They had no depth coming into the year. And Ryan, I talked about this on my podcast after the game. You brought it up. We said the exact same thing. We need an APB out for Carson Hinsman. We understand that, like, he was a secret suspension for the Cotton Bowl. Okay, maybe that carried over into a game this year. But, like, we're 7 games into the season, and, like, what's going on? He started 12 games at center last year, and he's just can't even see the field now. It's one of the strangest things that I can remember seeing.
Yeah, it is. Dave, they had 64 rushing yards against Nebraska. All right, you have Quinshon Judkins and you have Travion Henderson, and neither one could get 30 yards on the ground, right? That is absolutely unbelievable. And this is a Nebraska team who, by the way, gave up 5 touchdowns on the ground a week ago to Indiana. 5 rushing touchdowns for Indiana.
That makes it worse. Right.
It's gross.
It does.
Like it is. And look, that's frustrating, but it's across the board, right? It's also the special teams. The special teams is bad again. And gosh, are we ever going to have a reliable kicker and special teams and punter and all that stuff? And it's just so frustrating because this roster was built. We've talked about the $20 million a ton, and the fact that they ignored like some of the gaping holes is just so frustrating, Dave.
Very, very, very frustrating. Let's get to some more of your comments and questions from Twitter. Again, you can reach out to us. I'm at Dave Biddle. He's at ScottyVegas971, or you can tweet at 971TheFan on Twitter. Let's let's get good thoughts now. I don't know if these are good thoughts, but he says, basically, will Ohio State get to the Big Ten championship game? What is your confidence level? Basically, good thoughts now. In my opinion, you're asking me, what are the chances they beat Penn State?
And Indiana.
I think they're going to be. I know. I think they're going to be.
Really? After yesterday, you have confidence they beat Indiana. Okay.
I do have confidence they're going to beat Indiana. My Indiana Hoosiers, no. They're not my Indiana Hoosiers anymore. They already cashed the over 5.5 wins bet, barely. They're 8-0. It's crazy. I really think if Ohio State beats Penn State, they're going to be in the Big Ten championship game. Will they beat Penn State? I don't know.
Yeah.
Now Penn State's could be down to their backup quarterback, although he's a good running quarterback, so that gives me some trepidation going against this Ohio State defense. But Aller seemed to hurt his knee yesterday, and he didn't go back in the second half. So we'll see what happens. But yes, I guess if I'm betting, I guess I would say they're going to make it. Did yesterday, give me a lot less confidence? Yes. I'm still predicting they'll be in the Big Ten championship game, though, the Buckeyes. There
were so many dark thoughts that were going through my mind in that fourth quarter after Nebraska took the lead, including the fact that, okay, this is the first 12-team playoff, and if OSU drops this game, which it was looking like a real possibility in that fourth quarter, are they going to miss the first ever 12-team playoff? And I can't believe those thoughts were even creeping in my mind with this team, with the talent on this team. But those were creeping in there. And you talk about Penn State. I'm actually surprised. So the line is already out, of course, on Ohio State, Penn State. And Ohio State is a 4.5-point road favorite at Penn State. And I'm kind of surprised by that. I was thinking, because going into yesterday, the line was 3.5 Ohio State, and it actually ticked up a point. And I think the Drew Aller potential injury with his left knee may have moved that a point. But I was surprised after how Ohio State played that Ohio State is a 4.5-point favorite over Penn State. That's the initial line right now. That surprises me. I don't know how Ohio State's going to block Penn State. I really don't. Like, how are they going to keep the Penn State defenders from not just walking right to Will Howard? Because that's what we saw yesterday. Like, the offensive line was so bad that I just don't know how you're blocking Penn State.
We're going to hear more of your tweets next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Get your ex to the lodge for the freshest menu additions. Spice up your wing order with new sauces, featuring the chicken tikka or spicy chili crisp. Or try our famous flatbreads with the backyard barbecue brisket or chicken tikka. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I've had to be versatile my whole football career. Of course, I'm a defensive end, but I've also played special teams and even played fullback. Whether I'm blocking or tackling, I've got to be ready for any job out there, which is why I love the versatility in Kubota's BXB and L Series tractors. There's no task too big or small with Kubota tractors from Green & Sons. Visit greenandsons.com today or stop by their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville, and get yourself a Kubota tractor that works as hard as I do.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
We're going to hear from you throughout the show today here on the money. Get your thoughts on that Buckeye surviving Nebraska yesterday. And we can't wait to hear from you. Those phone lines are open, 614-821-9710. But first, I'm going to update the odds going forward now. So Georgia's still the favorite to win it all at plus 360. Ohio State second at plus 425. Oregon plus 475, Texas 5-1, Penn State trailing at the half yesterday to Wisconsin, but gets it done in the second half. They're 14-1 to win it all. Clemson 16-1, Tennessee 16-1, and Miami 20-1. Those are your national championship odds. And to be honest with you, a line that kind of surprised me this morning. Ohio State opens up a 4.5-point favorite over Penn State this week. Of course, potentially Drew Aller with an injury. That is big news, but we'll kind of gauge that as we go throughout the week. But he did not play in that second half win over Wisconsin. All right, we are going to go out to the phone lines now. Again, we want to hear from you, 614-821-9710. And we welcome Frank to On the Money. Frank, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How's it going this morning?
Good, Frank.
I was thoroughly disgusted yesterday. I go to every game, home and away, big fan. I just don't understand the play calling. I know the line is a big problem, but you don't run it up the middle against Nebraska when you have a bad line. You got to get it outside. You got to get the ball down the field. We got the best receivers, the best running backs in the country. Let's get them outside and get them down the field.
It was frustrating. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, there was a play late. I mean, there was a lot of plays we could point to, right? There was a play late in the game. There was a 3rd and 9. Ohio State did this little screen pass and got stuffed. I'm like, did they think it's like second down? Like, what are they doing on 3rd and 9 running that play? And then I'm like, I need to stop calling Chip Kelly an offensive guru. You can't do that against Nebraska. You're not playing Georgia. Okay, that was Nebraska's defense. They gave up 56 points to Indiana the previous week. So, yeah, very frustrating. Thanks for the call.
So, Dave, third quarter. Ohio State had been dominant in third quarters throughout the start of this season, right? They were actually outscoring opponents 84-0 in the third quarter. And so that was actually a bet that I placed. Going into halftime, I thought Ohio State would come out. They came out with the football. I thought, all right, here's the opportunity for them. It was a shaky first half, not a great first half, not a terrible first half offensively, but I thought they were going to get it together in that third quarter. And then that third quarter was about as ugly of a quarter as you're going to see offensively. 23 yards, 1 completion, 1 interception, 0 for 3 on third downs. I mean, it was gross. It was gross. I don't know any other way to put it. All right, we're going to go back out to the phone lines and go to Gino. Gino, you are on the money.
Hey, guys, couple things. Number one is the Boo Birds got to go. It's like, I can't believe that people would boo our own team when we're still in the game. And besides, you should never do that. I remember back in 2002, we had at least 6 or 7 games that we could argue that we should have lost. I remember we should have got beat by Cincinnati that year. I remember the Craig Krenzel pass to Jenkins at Purdue when it was 4th down. So, you know what? We just need to hang in there and quit booing our team. And, hey, we always get everyone's best shot, right? We always get everyone's best shot. So I wouldn't gauge this on how well we're going to play going forward. We had a hiccup. We had a bad game. It was off a bye week, and we never play good on a bye week. Can you guys tell me one week that we played good after a bye week? And that's all I got. OH.
Thanks for the call, Gino. It's a therapy session. We needed a little optimism. You provided that. And no, I can't remember the last time Ohio State played well off a bye week. And I foolishly thought this would be the exception to the rule because how often do they have a bye week right after, a gut-wrenching loss? I'm like, oh, they're going to come out all hungry. Boy, I was wrong. Ryan, I know you wanted to chime in here.
Yeah, so we've got a comment on the YouTube that's about the same there. I believe it's from Reber. And he said that, Nebraska played well. You got to give them credit, yada, yada, all this. Listen, it's Ohio State. Ohio State gets everyone's best shot every week. You talked about all week last week. We've got to chew on this for 2 weeks. Well, you obviously didn't mind the taste because you didn't come out and whoop on anyone. Like, if you didn't like the taste, you would have come out and you would have spit that out of your mouth and you would have went and played football. And here's the thing. We can talk about 2002, and that's fine. And if Ohio State wins every game the rest of the way, just like that one yesterday, they're fine, and they're going to be national champions. And we can talk about that then. But here's the thing. Ohio State raised this bar. Not the fans, not anybody else. They raised the bar. They raised the expectations. They said it's national championship or bust, not anyone else. And the problems are the same. We're not seeing anything get fixed. We've had different offensive coordinators, different defensive coordinators, different offensive line coaches, and for 5 years, the narrative has been the exact same.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said there, Ryan. I want to just real quickly address the boo birds that Gino talked about that he didn't like hearing in the stadium. And I'm not someone who would go to a game and really boo either, but I do understand the frustrations. I understand the frustrations. And look, this is also a team that we know is $20 million invested, at least $20 million invested in it. I'm sorry if fans get frustrated, spend their money on it, and get out to a game. If some minority number of fans want to boo, I don't like it. It's not my favorite thing. I wouldn't do it, but I also am not going to necessarily criticize the people that do. One other thing too, I know in 2002 you brought up that Ohio State played a lot of close games. If you look at a lot of these top 5 teams in college football this year, they've all had games against not great teams where they've struggled. Look at Georgia against Kentucky. Georgia probably should have lost that game against Kentucky. They right now have the best odds to win the national championship. Oregon, right now, they look like they're potentially the best team in the country. But guess what? A month ago, they struggled mightily against Boise State and probably should have lost to Boise State. Alabama, who's a team that's up and down this season, but they lost at Vanderbilt. So some of these elite teams are having bad games. Hopefully, Ohio State can overcome it. When we come back, we're going to continue to take your calls. 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew. You said it, Dave. But a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible. That's right. You got to pause before you play. Good call. Sports betting is hot. but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Voting. It's more than just a right, it's a responsibility. November 5th is Ohio's general election, and we encourage you to make your voice heard. Ohio offers 3 convenient ways to vote: voting on Election Day, early in person, and absentee voting. No matter the method you choose, you can be confident that your vote is secure and your voice will be heard. Go to voteohio.gov to learn more. Sponsored by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Welcome back to the show. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Ryan Baker. We are taking your calls on Ohio State football. And if you want to chime in on the NFL, any type of sports betting, World Series betting, but we're talking a lot of Ohio State football, so we're taking your calls at 614-821-9710, 614-821-9710. And speaking of which, let's head out to the state of South Carolina and hear from Julie. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Hi there, guys. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I'm a current season ticket holder, and I've been going to games since the 70s. I can tell you, I can recall very few times where out of the chute, the team itself was talking about expectations of a national championship. And to date, I have not seen a performance that seems to warrant that tag. In addition, a couple other things. From what I see, Will Howard, I think some of his decision-making is not crisp. For instance, there seems to be times when he should be keeping the ball on the option, and he hands off, and Travion or one of the other running backs goes right up the middle, right into the defensive line. And the other thing is I have to question Chip Kelly. I know his pedigree. I understand that. But, there were 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and we turn around and hand off, and we've got a 250-pound quarterback where we could get a yard up the middle. So just some thoughts there, and I'll hang up and see what you guys think.
Julie, you nailed it. I concur on everything you said. That was a great call right there.
Yeah, it was
a great call.
Now, I agree, Julie, great call. Now, one thing I will talk about with Will Howard, like coming into the season, we had 2 major questions about this team. One was obviously offensive line, That one is a disaster at this point. And then the other was quarterback. And I actually believe that Ohio State can win a national championship with Will Howard as the quarterback.
Yeah.
I actually now don't believe Ohio State can win the national championship with this offensive line. That's where I am right now. Like Will Howard, I love the fact that they completed 2 deep balls. They talked about trying to get that into the game. My question is, why in the fourth quarter did Ohio State get so conservative? And here's the deal. Once Ohio State had the lead 21-17 and they had the ball and a chance to really put that game away, right? It's a 1-score game. You're up by 4. And what do? You do 2 run plays that were not successful at all. And they hadn't been able to run all game. And so you get 2 conservative Quinshon runs, basically right up the middle. And then you come back and you go 3 and out, and you give Nebraska the ball back. I hated that. Like, Ohio State is up by 4 in the fourth quarter. Go down, try and make it a 2-score game, and put this game away with this offense. Don't get so conservative and run the ball and just try and rely on the defense that had been a bit shaky. So I hated the play calling yesterday as well. Julie, good call.
A lot of people on social media, and we also can get on our YouTube page and ask comments or have comments, ask questions, have a similar comment or a question. That's basically like, is Ryan Day the guy? If not, who should be the guy? We're going to answer that next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The waterworks techs have heard it all. Screeching furnaces, dripping pipes, strangled garbage disposals, overflowing toilets. Did a spooky surprise catch you off guard? Who are you gonna call?
No, not them. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222. We provide better care, better value, better results, and we'll take on any drain or heating and cooling nightmare to come your way. Happy Hallow Waterworks.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Did yesterday suck? Yes, it did. A very frustrating 21-17 win over Nebraska, but the key is it is a win, and so we update the national championship odds. Georgia, the favorite, plus 360. Ohio State, plus 425 to win it all. Oregon, plus 475, and Texas, 5-1. Of course, we do our betting at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus, and we're hearing from you this morning, your tweets, your comments on YouTube, and your phone calls. Those phone lines are open, 614-821-9710. We're going to get out to a very, very direct tweet, and I like this one, and it's loaded, Dave. And go ahead, read it out to us. What exactly is this tweet?
Yeah, this is from Josh on Twitter, and we also had, I believe, Eric the Red had basically a similar question, but it's basically, is Ryan Day the guy to lead this Ohio State football program? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, who is the guy? And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I've gone from, yes, he is the guy, so I don't even need to answer the next question, to I don't know and I don't know. I like Ryan Day personally, and I certainly am not calling for him to be fired. I still think he can right this ship. They have had one loss on the road by 1 point against the number one team in the nation. Yeah, they looked bad yesterday. So I'm going to stick with he's the guy, and maybe a big reason is I don't see like a clear other candidate out there. Like you and I were talking, it's like, who are you going to get? You going to get Urban? Is he going to come back? Probably not. Maybe. You going to get Nick Saban?
Sure. Sign me up for Nick Saban.
Well, just me. Like, yeah, right. I think Saban walked away from a pretty good situation because he was done with all this crap. Now,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
Now, Saban did begin his coaching career as a head coach in
Kent
the state
State,
of
right?
the state of Ohio. I think didn't he play at Kent State?
Oh, did he play there?
Maybe he was an assistant coach, but his first head coaching job was at Toledo.
Oh, okay.
So maybe his final head coaching job will be at Ohio State. I'm being facetious. Okay. Who would you get? Now, you threw somebody out there. Border state, first-year coach at Indiana.
Yeah, that was kind of a joke.
I know you're kind of joking. Listen, I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I still believe in Ryan Day. I do, and I was disappointed yesterday. I was disappointed, very disappointed. I'm disappointed with a lot of things about this team, but I think that's what it comes down to. Like, let's say you get rid of Ryan Day. Who are you getting?
So I think it's impossible for us to right now say that Ryan Day is the guy, right? Because
I don't know for sure that, right.
Let's see how this season plays out still, all right? You still only have one loss by a point, right, to Oregon, who might be the best team in the country, and it was on the road. Okay, so let's let this thing play out a little bit before we move on from him. But I will tell you, in that fourth quarter yesterday, if Nebraska had somehow snuck out that win and wins that football game, then you're talking about two losses, and then you are going on the road at Penn State, and if you lose another, then you're completely out of the college football playoff, right? You have two losses at that point, and then you still have a tough game at Penn State coming up next. And I do believe that if Ohio State were to not make the college football playoff in the first year of the 12-team playoff, then that would be it. Like, I can't imagine a scenario where if Ohio State doesn't make the playoff that Ryan Day keeps his job. Like, can you?
No, I really can't.
Like, if he doesn't make the playoff, there's no way.
I can't imagine that
with
that
this team,
if they're 9-3, even with the win over Michigan, it'd be crazy to fire a coach after he beats Michigan. But yeah, I mean, this Michigan team, I know they beat Michigan State yesterday, but they still don't look good. All right, let's head back out to the phone lines. Chris, welcome to On the Money.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I wanted to kind of chat about the defense a little bit because I just feel like, when people say that our team isn't tough, I think you see that on the field, and the team just doesn't look hungry. They don't look tough. I think our linebackers make splash plays every now and then. Sonny Styles will get in the backfield, make a splash play. You saw on the 4th and goal at the 1, Simon made the hit and kept them out of the end zone. You get some splash plays, but when it's time to get a stop, the middle of the field is wide open. If you want a first down, throw a crosser across the middle. And if you want a guy to, get a sack, they may get pressure at the D-line. But yesterday we saw it with Raiola. How many times did he just run straight up the middle and there was not a linebacker to be seen, and it was an easy first down? I just think this team lacks a lot of toughness. A lot of people point to the coaching. I think that's the, easy thing to say. But We gave up 500 yards to Oregon, and every time they needed a first down, it was there across the middle. And it was just it's tough to watch all these players and all these guys that we say we're better, at every position across the field, but we're getting outplayed by teams that I feel like we should be dominating, and we're just not on that defensive side of the ball. Thanks for the call, guys.
Chris, you're absolutely right. A lot of things that you said there is right. Now, Dave, I've noticed this too. It feels like sometimes this defensive line over pursues and gives up this open lane for these quarterbacks to run. And people are just gashing 15 yards at a time when there's too much pursuit. And then there's such a big running lane for these quarterbacks to run through. It is so frustrating. Do you agree with that too, Dave? Is that something that you're seeing as well?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, yesterday was a glaring example of that. And
Oregon too, though.
I will say this. Against Oregon, I was way more disappointed in the defense than I was the offense. Yesterday was the flip. I mean, I was disappointed in both games with both units, but yesterday I was more disappointed in the offense than the defense. I mean, the defense at one point, they had that goal line stand when they were put in a really bad spot. Again, they're not playing against a great offense in Nebraska, but geez, I mean, the offense just left a lot to be desired. We're taking your calls at 614-821-9710. Jim and Gary, stick on the line. We're going to hear from you next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Here, Heart Care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com. Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAFE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAFE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAFE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code SAFE25.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
We love hearing from the people here on the money. Now, we would prefer if we were talking about Ohio State coming off like a 63-point win, not a 4-point escape, but hey, they say a win's a win. I don't know if Buckeye fans are agreeing with that right now. We're going to head out to the phone lines and hear from Jim. Welcome to On the Money, Jim.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy your show. I just want to say what a blessing it is to be able to come back up from Florida and go to an Ohio State game. Went through a Hurricane 2022 in Fort Myers Beach. My Buckeye experiences are part of my restoration, along with my home. We recruit the best student athletes in the country, beautiful human beings and kids, and now getting to the football. We're no better than last year. The only upgrade we've got is Will Howard. Will Howard can make all the throws. You can tell Day and Kelly trust him to make decisions. And the defense seems to have regressed, especially in a big game like Oregon. A couple of years ago, we had a problem keeping everything in front of us, i.e. the Michigan game. And now we just seem to we just don't seem to have an identity. I will say we've got the best, in my opinion, we have the best red zone defense in the country. Oregon should have blown us out. They should have scored 50 points. And yesterday would have been a difficult thing. However, everybody needs to remember Nebraska fumbled 4 times. They fumbled 4 times yesterday. They fumbled on the opening kickoff, on the opening drive. They recovered a fumble on a slant over the middle, and then that targeting call, the kid fumbled. So kids are playing hard. We're just not very good. We're the same as last year. I don't see us running the table with these next 4 wins with Penn State, Indiana, and Michigan and Oregon. So, but fans, let's stay positive. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for the call, Jim. And I'm glad you were able to get back up here from Florida to go to games. It is a special thing. Anytime we can get into the shoe, it is a special occasion. And that's why we love our team so much and love our Saturdays as much as we do. And I'm glad that you were able to experience that at the shoe. But here's the deal. You're right in a lot of the points that you made. For me, I actually do like Will Howard a lot. I again, coming into this season, it was like a super question mark on quarterback play. Can you win a national championship with Will Howard? I think the answer to that is yes. And look, my main concern is still, and everybody's main concern is going to be the offensive line. And if you look at the betting odds, Georgia is still the favorite to win it all. Ohio State's right behind them, right? So the betting odds still believe Ohio State is a legit contender to win it all. All of these top teams. Here's the good thing, guys, I believe. All of these top teams this year have flaws. Like, this isn't an unbelievable Georgia team. Like, this Oregon team, Ohio State was right there and probably should have beat them. And look, Texas isn't fantastic. They barely get by Vanderbilt yesterday. And so there's not that elite team in college football. There's going to be a lot of teams that have 2 losses that make the college football playoff this year. So, like, I know the day yesterday was frustrating, but Ohio State still has a shot. You know what I mean, Dave? Do you agree with me? I mean, there's no elite team.
That's the thing. I mean, we're going to pick apart Ohio State because we're here in Columbus, Ohio, yes, and we love Ohio State, and this is what we do. We're going to pick apart everything, good and bad. But you're right. There's not a juggernaut team in college football this year, and you just said it. Ohio State has the second best odds to win the national championship behind Georgia. If you look at the human polls, Oregon's number 1. Ohio State really should have beat them at their place, like you said. All right, let's get to another caller. Let's hear from Gary. Gary, welcome to On the Money.
Hey, guys. Hey, I think our team is good, but our defense is going to cost us in the long run. Like, I can't watch, man. I got to turn it off because I just see, like, where's our Bosa-type players? Like, JT is on vacation, Sawyer, vacation. Seems like they just push us around whenever they want to, or I don't know, just they're soft. I can't call it anything but that. We just get knocked around going back from the teams that we were supposed to blow out from minute 1 of the game, from the beginning of the season. They're letting teams stay in the game and make us look bad.
The lack of pressure has been concerning. I did think they did a better job of that yesterday. I actually saw some things, like it seems like Ohio State's linemen, Their toolbox consists of bull rush, bull rush, bull rush. They actually mixed in some twists. I mean, this is stuff that, like, any, like, middle school team is doing. But, like, it's like, I really shouldn't be giving Ohio State props for actually using some twists up front. But they got some pressure on Raiola, knocked him around a little bit, got some sacks. But, yeah, overall the defense has been very disappointing as far as the lack of pressure on quarterbacks. Dylan Raiola looked like he was back in that game. He was so comfortable. It's like he was on the beach back in Hawaii just chucking the football with his buddies. He was so comfortable. It was frustrating. But I will say this about the defense. Yeah, there's concerns there. The biggest concern is the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, if Donovan Jackson is the answer at left tackle, it's like, okay. I mean, we'll see. But then now, are we sure Luke Montgomery's the answer at left guard? Why wouldn't you put Seyerveld in there? Seyerveld. I always pronounce his name wrong. Seyerveld in there at left guard. I thought he was your best backup guard. I have no idea. All right, up next, we're going to switch some gears. We're going to talk some NFL. But don't worry. Top of the hour, we're going to take more of your calls. We're going to talk more Ohio State football. But up next, we're going to talk some NFL on the money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay,
when the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Voting. It's more than just a right, it's a responsibility. November 5th is Ohio's general election, and we encourage you to make your voice heard. Ohio offers 3 convenient ways to vote: voting on Election Day, early in person, and absentee voting. No matter the method you choose, you can be confident that your vote is secure and your voice will be heard. Go to voteohio.gov to learn more. Sponsored by Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money. We're going to switch gears briefly, talk some NFL. Bengals in action today, Browns in action today. And then top of the hour, we're going to get back to Ohio State football, take your calls. And you guys can call in, talk some Bengals, Browns, whatever you want to talk about, betting, NFL, but we're talking a lot of Ohio State football. But Scotty, NFL, I know you have some interesting information to pass along.
Yeah, so if you had a bad betting Saturday, kind of like me, there's always Sunday. There's always the NFL to get it right. And here's some interesting betting facts for you. How about this for the Detroit Lions? The last time the Lions were this big of a favorite in a football game was 1996. 1996. They're an 11.5-point favorite over the Titans today, and that's a wild number. The fact I was 12 years old the last time the Lions were this big of a favorite.
After the Chris Spielman era, I believe.
Crazy.
That's man.
Now let's get to some of the Ohio teams. Oh, obviously, the Bengals need this one. 2.5-point favorites today over the Eagles. You're going to like this stat, Dave, especially for the first quarter. So this stat to me feels almost impossible. But through 7 games, the Eagles haven't scored a single point in the first quarter. 0. Nothing in the first quarter. They are 0-6 against the spread in the first quarter, of course, with 0 points scored. And they're the only team in the NFL without a first quarter cover this year. Kind of wild. First quarter offense, 13 possessions, 59 plays, 175 yards. That's less than 3 yards per play. 5 3-and-outs, 3 turnovers. So maybe the Bengals can get on the Eagles early. Now let's go to the Browns. They are an 8.5-point underdog against the Ravens. This is a stat that, Ryan, you're not going to like to hear as a Browns fan. But in the wild card era, which is since 1990, no head coach has a worse against the spread win percentage in more divisional games than Kevin Stefanski. It has been bad. The Browns are 8-17 against the spread against AFC North teams under Stefanski. Of 153 head coaches since 2003, he's been the worst against the spread within the division, so that is not good. And then Monday night, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just get it done under the lights. The Pittsburgh Steelers, tough to beat anytime or any place under Mike Tomlin, but at home under the lights on Monday Night Football, it's a different level. Going all the way back to 1992, the Steelers are 21-1 straight up in home Monday Night Football games. Their only loss was to Washington back in 2020. Just an incredible number. They, of course, play the Giants. They are a 6-point favorite on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Bengals. They have the white Bengal today, which I love. I think that should be like their uniform every week. Would we get sick of it? I wouldn't. It just looks so much better than the regular uniform. But we'll see. I mean, the Bengals have been so up and down. They're just a really hard team to figure out. I mean, they have the worst loss arguably in the NFL this year. Yeah, it was week 1. You can say, oh, week 1. Okay. They lost to the Patriots at home. I mean, the Patriots are awful, and they lost to them at home. And then they really outplayed Kansas City on the road, barely lost. Baltimore, it was 50-50. They lost that. Those could be the 2 best teams in the AFC, probably are the 2 best teams. They played right with them. I can't figure out this Bengals team.
Hey, at this point, guys, who would you say right now would be your Super Bowl? I know to start the year, Ryan, I think you were Bengals and Lions. I assume you're sticking with the Lions. No reason to jump off that one. What about AFC? You still thinking Cincinnati has that shot?
I think now I'd go Lions and Chiefs, and I'm sorry, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, that I ever went away from you.
Yeah, I would concur with that, yeah. Because, I mean, the 49ers aren't nearly as good, I think, as anybody expected. The Lions are even better, and the Lions were very good last year, as we all know. I agree with that. And I won't be surprised if the Ravens are there. Now, the Ravens' defense is not as good as we're accustomed to for a Ravens defense, but their offense is just unbelievable. When I saw it in the offseason when they got Derrick Henry, I was like, oh, crap. I should have used a stronger word, I guess. Immediately, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And you hear, like, Jerry Jones came out and said the reason the Cowboys didn't go after him is because of a lack of fit. Oh, really? You don't want, like, a future, like, Pro Bowl or future Hall of Fame, not Pro Bowl. Yeah, future Hall of Famer.
If that's a lack of fit, you need to check your fit. Right.
Yeah, you need a new owner, Jerry.
And isn't Dalvin Cook playing for them now? Didn't they just sign Dalvin Cook? That was their answer.
They signed him a while ago, but they put him to the active roster this week.
Real quick, what do you guys think? What did you guys think of Deshaun getting booed by the fans after he was injured last week? you have a problem with it? I didn't.
I don't think you should boo a guy because he's injured, and I think they were booing because he's been playing bad, but I think the players looked pretty bad. I hope those players would have the same passion defending the females as they would Deshaun.
That's so well said. I'll leave it at that.
Exactly. I think they were booing a little bit of everything. It's not like they were booing when he had like a terminal illness. He'll be okay. It was a blown out Achilles. He'll be okay. All right, first hour of the show is in the books. If you're listening on The Fan, stick around for the second hour. And if you want to call the show, give us a shout at 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Here, heart care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com. Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Baker. Well, it definitely wasn't pretty, but Ohio State wins, and they improved to 6-1 on the season. They score late and knock off Nebraska 21-17 in the shoe yesterday. The defense, it was better, but the offense struggled, especially running the ball, just 64 yards rushing on the day. The Buckeyes now head into a top 5 matchup with Penn State next Saturday. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 3-0 on the young season. They beat the Washington Wizards 135-116 last night. Donovan Mitchell leads the way with 30 points. The Blue Jackets pick up a point, but they fall in Nashville to the Predators in overtime 4-3. Zach Werenski, Kirill Marchenko, and Zach Aston Reese with the goals. The Bengals host the Eagles at 1 this afternoon. The Browns do the same with the Ravens at the same time. You can hear that here on the Fan pregame coverage. It begins at 11. And sad news yesterday as longtime Browns announcer Jim Donovan passes away.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his best won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by my friend Scott Prokop. We like to call him Scotty Vegas. We also have our other friend, Ryan Baker, here at the controls. This is a show about sports gambling. We are hearing from you, a little therapy session, although I like therapy sessions after a win much more than after a loss. We want to hear from you on Ohio State football, 614-821-9710, 614-821-9710. I want to get out to, and you also can, tweet us. You can get on our 971 The Fan YouTube page, ask questions, give our comments, and we will read as many as we can. All right, let's head back out here. All right, let's get to Luke Morris on the X machine. Says, what did Zen Mahalski do during the bye week? What did the coaches do? He looked like he had no idea what was going on. Here's the thing. If we didn't see him play in the Oregon game, I would just be like, well, he's, obviously has no reason to be out there. He actually held his own in the Oregon game. I don't know what happened. And I don't know if I put that more on Zen or the coaches. I think maybe I lean toward the coaches because you decided that was your best option. And then it took him getting hurt for them to, do anything about it. That poor kid was getting abused all night till he got hurt.
So I was having this discussion yesterday with some friends, and we were talking about how Ohio State kind of spent their money in NIL this last season and how maybe they kind of neglected the fact that this offensive line was an enormous embarrassment in that Missouri game and didn't get the depth that they needed for this coming season. They felt like this was a championship caliber team coming back, right? And they didn't address the offensive line because that was the question the entire offseason, right? Was the offensive line. After seeing that Missouri game and how absolutely horrendous they were in that game, to not add at least depth to this offensive line. And I believe that's what's probably going to cost them a national championship. Yes, there are other question marks on this team, specifically the defense, but the biggest question and the biggest reason why they won't win at all is the offensive line, and that wasn't addressed. And you spent $20 million, right, at least from what Ross Bjork said in NIL, and this offensive line was not addressed the way it should have been. And so that's why we're in this situation. I know Simmons' injury sucks. That was devastating. It really was. As soon as that happened, as soon as we knew that he was going to be out for the year, that was devastating. But there was no plan B, Dave.
Let's head back out to the phone lines and hear from Teddy. Welcome to On the Money, Teddy.
How you doing, Mr. Biddle?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm just, I think back to 2002 and 2014. How many close games did we win?
I mean, in 2002, pretty much every game, yeah. And then in 2014, they were left for dead after the Virginia Tech game, yeah.
Exactly. So why are we, we're going after our head coach head, which we were never a quarterback university, ever. Now we are. Everybody wants to come play for Ryan Day, quarterback-wise. He develops you. He puts you in the NFL. I
agree with that.
I don't understand it.
It's the offensive line.
I understand the offensive line needs to be addressed. But, I just wow. We're 6-1, guys.
So
I hear what you're saying. Go ahead, Scotty.
If we would have go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Okay, so our expectations are obviously national championship here, right? They put $20 million into this team.
Denzel Burke's out there saying we're going to win every game. It's national championship or bust.
Yes.
They put that out there, like Ryan was saying earlier. We didn't.
And I get close games are going to happen, right? Games like what happened yesterday are going to happen. It's happening to all the elite teams in college football. Georgia against Kentucky and Oregon against Boise State. It happens. You have close games like this. The problem is the track record is Ryan Day loses in big football games. That's the problem. Like if Ryan Day had a history of winning a decent number of big-time football games, then we would probably look past a little bit more a game like yesterday.
I'm going to push back a little bit on this quarterback thing, too, because I'm pretty sure Justin Fields came here because of Urban Meyer.
No, that's not true.
Now, Ryan Day was the offensive coordinator.
No, but Urban had just retired. Before, Tate Martell was going to be the quarterback of Urban State.
I understand, but Justin Fields still came here on the tail end of Urban, and Urban was a big part of that. Urban was the one sitting with him at the basketball game.
That's true.
Not Ryan Day. C.J. Stroud was very good, but Kyle McCord didn't work out. Devin Brown certainly hasn't worked out. And you can say what you want about Will Howard, but it took 2 months to get Will Howard. Nobody else took him. Nobody else wanted him, and he's a fine college football quarterback, but that's it. He's not, he's playing good. He's playing fine, but he has bonehead decisions sometimes, and he's just okay. I don't think he's great.
I think we have to give Ryan Day more credit for Justin Fields. I don't think Fields would have come here if Urban, and that he was sitting with, Urban's a rock star. We're not going to debate that. I mean, everybody knows Urban's a rock star. But I don't think Fields would have come here if Urban was still the head coach. He wanted more of a, and maybe I'm wrong about that. And I think we have to give Ryan Day a lot of respect for C.J. Stroud, because when he first targeted C.J. was like a 3-star. And they already had Jack Miller in the class, who's supposed to be, the 5-star. He's going to be the next guy. And Ryan Day wasn't sold on Jack Miller, who kind of was, holdover from the Urban Meyer. Not real. That's when they started recruiting him. Bottom line is he handpicked C.J. Stroud when he already had another quarterback in the class, then developed him into the most accurate quarterback we've ever seen at Ohio State.
I'm okay with Will Howard. Like, OSU's offense yesterday ran 44 plays. If you take away the 3 kneel downs at the end, okay, so 44 plays. Ohio State converted on 1 of 10 third down tries, ran the ball for 64 rushing yards. That's 2 yards a pop, right? 11 total first downs, but Will Howard accounted for 235 yards, 221 passing, 14 rushing of Ohio State's 285 total yards in all 3 TDs. Like, I really don't think the problem is the quarterback. Yes, bad decision at the end of the Oregon game, but he's not the reason why Ohio State lost the Oregon game either. The defense is. And so, yes, you look around the country and you see Cam Ward is playing fantastic for Miami, and you see Dylan Gabriel is playing awesome for Oregon. Great quarterbacks. Would it be better? Would Ohio State be in a better situation if those 2 quarterbacks were here versus Will Howard? I'm not so sure Ohio State's undefeated with those quarterbacks either.
I'll say one debate we're no longer having, which I had to have. I think it was a very small minority, but I had plenty of them on Bucknuts, on Twitter. People are like, yeah, they made a mistake letting Kyle McCord go. No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
3 pick sixes on Thursday night.
In the first time since 2005 that happened, where a quarterback had 3 pick sixes in the first half, and that other quarterback was Kyle Allen from Texas A&M. So if your first name's Kyle, and now good news for McCord is Kyle Allen ended up playing in the NFL, so maybe the same will be true. But man, that looked bad. All right, let's head back out to the phone lines. I want to hear from Paul. He's got some comments on the O-line. Paul, what's up?
Hey, I know the injuries are a big key when you lose a top player on your offensive line and you got to put in somebody else. But I think this year the problem is, and it's been in the past, is the offensive line coach. They even said that back even in the summertime, that a lot of people did not like the offensive line coach. He was not getting a lot of the top recruits and everything else, and I think that's our problem, is you're just not getting big key players. So when we lose what key players we have on the offensive line and you have to put in somebody else, they're inexperienced. And that's the problem this year. And I just think that, maybe Ryan Day or somebody's got to look into getting a new offensive line coach.
Yeah, and they brought in Tim Drevno, who was, under Chip Kelly, former Michigan offensive coordinator Tim Drevno, and then he was with Chip Kelly, offensive line coach at UCLA. They brought him in to be a quality control coach, and I thought, okay, that'll help Justin Fry out. I've said many times, having Chip Kelly here will help the offensive line out, and it looked that way for a good chunk of the season so far. Just yesterday did not look that way. And I guess, as Mark Condon pointed out on Twitter, I guess Nebraska does have a top 10 rushing defense, but still, you got to be better than that. They couldn't run the ball to save their lives yesterday. And listen, Nebraska does have 2 studs D-tackle. I get that. They're going to face much better defenses than that. Much better.
So let's take a minute now and look forward. Obviously, for the first 70 minutes of this show, we've been looking kind of back and at yesterday. I want to take a little bit of time and start looking forward, right? Let's get past that. It's a win. It's in the win column. Let's look at what Ohio State has coming up, because 6 days from now, they go to Penn State, and we have a betting line out on it, and I'm surprised by the betting line. I really am. Like, generally, I look at a line, and I'm usually within a point or two of what I think it's going to be, and this one surprises me. Ohio State is a 4.5-point road favorite over Penn State. And if you didn't watch the Penn State game yesterday, Drew Aller did go out in the second half. He was injured and did not play. Penn State went on. They were trailing at the half to Wisconsin, came out, got a pick six in the third quarter that kind of changed the whole game around. Penn State looked good in the second half, came away with the win. Now, 4.5 points. On the road, I'm surprised by that number. I honestly thought after yesterday that number would probably be about a pick 'em. I really did. I really thought that, and again, before yesterday's games, in a look-ahead line, Ohio State was a 3-point favorite over Penn State. That number went up 1.5 to 4.5. Dave, that surprised me. Are you surprised that it's 4.5 as well?
Yeah, when you said that earlier in the show, I was very surprised. And you mentioned a big reason is probably Aller's injury, although I like their backup. He can't throw the ball nearly as well as Aller, but he can run, Prabula. And listen, that's going to be a tough game. Yeah, I'm surprised it's 4.5. All right, we got a couple calls we want to get to. Let's start with Abby. Welcome to the show, Abby.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for calling.
Hey, my question is this. I wonder how much pressure, and it's, as Scotty's talking about the spread, I wonder how much pressure is put on this team. Our spreads always seem to be enormous. Yesterday we had a 25.5-point spread over a team that was 5-2 and very adept at what they do. I mean, they proved that they are, they're a comer. And yet last night you've got a Miami team that is now 8-0 over a 1-7 FSU team that had a point spread that's 4 points lower than us. They're undefeated. They're playing a one-win team. I wonder how much pressure is put on our team to perform by these odds.
It's a good call. And also, furthermore, I think that gives the other team like bulletin board material. Even though it's on Ohio State doing it, Ohio State's not setting the odds. I'm sure Matt Rule let his team know this is what they think of you. To go back to the diss track from Ice Cube, this is what they think of you. You guys are 25.5-point underdogs. This is what they think of you. So I think it's twofold. I don't think Ohio State's players are really paying attention to the spread, but your call in general, I agree with you, because the pressure that's on these young men is immense. The pressure that's on the coaching staff is immense. But the flip side of that is they put this pressure on themselves with some of the things they said. Denzel Burke, some of the things he said. And these guys are being paid handsomely. Ryan Day makes close to $10 million. Both coordinators are making over $2 million. Justin Fry, who's the ire of every Buckeye fan right now, makes over $1 million as a position coach.
It's a good call, Abby. Absolutely. And look, here's a big reason why that spread was as crazy as it was, and it did feel high yesterday, was the fact that Nebraska lost a week ago 56-7 to Indiana. And that's what moved that spread. Actually, before that game, before last week, Ohio State was looking at being about a 19 to 20 point favorite, which kind of seemed more realistic. And because Nebraska played so awful against Indiana, that spread moved 6 points. It did. So that's the reason why it was as inflated as it was. And a big thing with point spreads, Abby, is people were taking Ohio State, right? That's why those numbers adjust the way they do. And you're right, looking at that Miami-Florida State line and just looking across the board. So the key for people who are setting these lines is they want action on both sides, right? And so their job isn't really necessarily to predict what the final score of a game is going to be. It's more so they want to make money, right? And they want action on both sides. And because they have a juice of -110, they are absolutely fine if the bets are pretty much 50-50. So that's kind of a little insight as far as where lines are set.
We are taking your calls on Ohio State football, 614-821-9710. Mike, stick on the line. We're going to lead off with you next on The Money.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave. But a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news, you can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at United Dairy Farmers. Through December 15th, registered U-drivers who buy specially marked items can play for a 1 in 7 chance of winning from over $500,000 in cash, fuel, and freebies instantly, like the $1,000 we're giving away every week and the $15,000 grand prize. Because at UDF, extra happy holidays are made for you. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
It's Monday Night Football on ESPN Columbus and the Fans HD2. Catch the Giants and Steelers from New Yinzerville. Live coverage starts Thursday at 7:30.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan.
Let's face it, repairing or replacing your roof is a big decision. It's an investment in your home, your safety, and your peace of mind. But with so many roofing companies out there, how do you know which one to trust? How do you know your investment will be in good hands? Since 1992, Newman Roofing has been the family-owned company homeowners have relied on. We understand that roofing projects can be stressful. That's why we built our company around you, offering a white glove experience designed to make your roofing project as smooth and easy as possible. At Newman Roofing, we focus on the details because the details matter. Our craftsmanship, attention to quality, and commitment to service are second to none. Why? Because when your name is on it, it just means more. Your roof isn't just another project. It's our promise to deliver the very best. So, as the cooler weather approaches, don't wait. Get your Newman roof while there's still time this fall. Call us today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Bob and Beam here. Enjoy all the NFL action with a chance to win on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win on tonight's game. So how about that? We got an option here. The Ravens and the Bucks. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. You got action all over the place. You can parlay some passing yards on the over. Maybe get a Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. It's all there for you. You smash it together, Beam. And then you got your SGP, the $5 winning you the $300 in bonus bets if you bet on tonight's game.
That's right, Bob. There's a ton of different ways to do it. You got your Parlay Hub, Popular Bets, FanDuel Squares. I like a same-game parlay. It's very easy. All you need to do, head to FanDuel.com/juice to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 years older. Present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see more sunshine this afternoon with high temperatures similar to yesterday, right around 60 degrees. Tonight, we'll see mainly clear skies with lows falling into those mid-30s once again. And tomorrow will be a bit milder. Temperatures rise above average for this time of year. We'll be topping out in the upper 60s with mostly sunny skies. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Calora.
Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
We've been airing our grievances all morning, and we're going to continue to do so throughout the rest of the hour. We are taking your calls, 614-821-9710. We're reading your tweets at ScottyVegas971 or at Dave Biddle, and we are monitoring the YouTube chat as well. So we love to hear from you. One thing I want to bring up before we get out to the phone lines again is I don't think there's a lot of blame to go around. I don't know if there's enough blame going on to the special teams right now. Like, what is the confidence level that Ohio State is going to line up and make a big-time field goal? Because I thought a big part of that first half in what was a huge change of momentum is Ohio State has an opportunity to hit, I think it was about a 41, 42-yard field goal. Not a chip shot, but a field goal that you should make probably 90% of the time, right? And it was missed, Dave, by about 15 yards.
I think he was trying to take somebody out that was like at the top of Morrill Tower or something. He was going after somebody at Morrill Tower there. And I'm like, and listen, I know like a lot went on after that, but like if Ohio State takes a 17-3 lead right there, I bet they roll. And listen, was Jaden Fielding the reason that was too close of a game? No, but I still think if he makes that field goal, I bet it doesn't get to be as close as whereas Nebraska was leading in the fourth quarter. So no, this special teams is bad. And people are going to be like, well, they had a 61-yard net punt. Yeah, that was like a 30-yard punt that rolled for 31 yards.
The other thing is I'm watching other games all day yesterday, and I'm watching Iowa's special teams, and Iowa brought a punt back for a touchdown, and OSU just cannot get any momentum with any kind of kickoff return. So how many times now are kickoff returns going to end up at the 19 or the 21 or the 22? Like it's so frustrating. You're giving yards away in that situation, and then the punt returns, you're just not getting anything on that either. And I know that's been a problem for a long time, and they've talked about that they were trying to address special teams and kick returns and punt returns and stuff, but it cost them in major games over the past few years, and the frustrating special teams continues.
Scotty, do you want to hear what Ryan Day said when he was asked about Jaden Fielding?
Let's do it.
If he had confidence?
Yes.
You know, yes, we do. We do. We see it every day in practice, and you know, we do. We have confidence in Jaden, and I know I missed that one, but yeah, we do. We have confidence that he can make kicks.
I love the pause there, and also you didn't have confidence in him making a 52-yarder to beat Oregon.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go out to the phone lines. We love hearing from you, Jason. You are on the money. Welcome to On the Money, Jason.
Oh, I was just trying to find out what you guys' opinion was on Chip Kelly's play calling the last couple of games. I haven't been too impressed with it, to be honest.
Yeah, especially yesterday. You know, and you're right. There's times in the Oregon game I thought that he left a lot to be desired. But I put the Oregon loss mostly on the defense. But yesterday, yeah, there were just so many head scratching calls. I keep going back to the 3rd and 9 play where they ran this screen pass. And it wasn't one of those screen passes where it's like it's well designed. It looks like a misdirection. You throw back. It was just like slow developing. Sure didn't fool Nebraska. I think they lost yardage on the play. On 3rd and 9, that's your play. So I'm like, okay, I probably need to pump the brakes on calling Chip Kelly this offensive guru if he's going to do stuff like that.
Nothing frustrated me more than after Ohio State took the lead 21-17, and then they forced a 3 and out. And then they got the ball back, and they just got so conservative. Okay, this is a team that's up 21-17 in the fourth quarter. The offense should have stepped on the gas, get up 2 scores. Don't be conservative, run, and then bad screen. Like, it was too conservative down the stretch. Too good of an offense. Like, that was so frustrating to me. So I agree that, yeah, a lot to be desired with the play calling yesterday. Let's go out to Jimmy. Jimmy, you are on the money.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good, Jimmy.
Hey, I had to call in. I've actually never called into a radio show before, but I was arguing with my buddies about this last night, and hearing all the viewpoints this morning, you know, I have a bit of a contrarian view. I think what happened yesterday was great. I mean, if you think about the Buckeyes leading up to the Oregon game, thinking about it all season, right? The biggest game. They're new to the Big Ten. We go out there, we play honestly pretty well, and we lose at the last second. Then you have 2 weeks to sit around and think about that, to come and play a team that just lost to Indiana by over 40 points. I wasn't surprised at all that we came out flat with a lack of physicality on the offensive line. But Tyvis Powell made an awesome point sometime earlier in the season where he said, you know, fans, they want to see a team come out and win by 40, 50 points, and that shows how good a team is. And it's really not the case. If you want your team to win a national championship, you got to find yourself with your back up against the ropes. You know, we knew we could lose against Oregon. We can't lose again, right? So they actually had a moment there in that last drive of the game where they had to go down and score. And everybody came alive. The running game came alive. The passing game came alive. And we went through that defense like a hot knife through butter. So I think that's exactly what we needed. I think if we had a pedestrian win where we won by 2 or 3 touchdowns and played lackadaisically like that, that would have set us up in a bad way for the rest of the season. I think that was a bucket of nice cold water we just dumped on ourselves. And I'm calling the Buckeyes winning big in Happy Valley.
I like the optimism, you know, and the thing is, if they do go on and achieve all their goals, we're going to look back on the Oregon game as a necessary evil, and we're going to look back on the Nebraska game as a necessary evil. If it goes the other direction, we're going to say, well, we should have known then that this was not going to be a national championship team. But we keep mentioning the last 2 teams that won a national championship for Ohio State had tons of close games, and even the 2014 team lost a really, really bad loss at home, 14 points to what ended up being a 6-6 Virginia Tech team. So you can play both sides of the fence. I get that, and it's reasonable. I like his optimism there, and I like that he said we're going to go to Happy Valley and just. I don't know if they're going to blow out Penn State. I do think they're going to beat Penn State, though.
Yeah, and look, to his point, Jimmy's point. Look, national championship teams generally do have 1 or 2 games along the way where in the regular season, they just got by, right? They just got by and won the game. I remember Michigan had multiple last year, right? That Illinois game. Like they have had multiple games where it was like, oh, this team doesn't look that good. Or 2 years ago, Georgia. I remember Georgia played a game at Missouri where they probably could have lost the game. They ended up winning the game by 4 points, but it was a game they didn't look good. And what happened? Georgia got through that game, went on and won a national championship. It happens. We know because we lived through the 2002 national championship where every single game was a close one. Ohio State would pull it off, pulled these late miracles out against Purdue, against Cincinnati, against Illinois. That, you know, they would pull them out and they won a national championship. So you can win close games and get by. It's just the bigger concern for me, Dave, more so than it was a close game, is what you see from this offensive line. Because that's my biggest concern going forward, is can they win a championship with that offensive line?
I feel like we should get some things off our chest. Could be Ohio State, could be anything at all. Let's do some That's Trash next on The Money.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck.
Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Dick from Dayton says, listen to the Ryan Day Show. Paul Keels and Jim Lachey join Coach every Thursday from noon to 1.
Presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan.
We all know Central Ohio's growing fast. It's making traffic worse and life more expensive. That's why voting yes on Issue 47 is so important. Issue 47 will help folks get to work faster and cheaper by creating CODA Rapid Bus Service. That means more routes, better hours, and more reliable service. That will expand access to transportation for everyone in our community, from the elderly to the disabled, to veterans and students. And Issue 47 will make our neighborhoods safer and more walkable by building 500 miles of sidewalks, trails, and bikeways. When we pass Issue 47, we'll get $1 billion in matching funds from the federal government to pay for it. We're already sending our tax dollars to D.C. Let's bring some of that money home to help our community. Issue 47 means safer neighborhoods and a better quality of life for our families. It's an easy call. Vote yes on Issue 47. Paid for by moving Central Ohio forward.
On sale now. Comedian Sarah Silverman, Postmortem Tour, live at Mershon Auditorium November 3rd.
Are you kidding me?
Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Sarah Silverman, live at Mershon Auditorium November 3rd. Grab tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
News, opinions, and insight, all before breakfast. Rise and shine with Morning Juice.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. Wanna play?
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Ryan Baker. Right about now, it is time for That's Trash. Hit it, Ryan. First one. The offensive line depth for Ohio State and Justin Fry's recruiting. Trash. And those things are intertwined, obviously. It's disappointing because we said if the offensive line can stay healthy, maybe they'll be all right. Okay, then you lose Josh Simmons for the season. Then your best backup is Zen Mihalski. And I'm not ripping on Zen. It's not his fault. Not his fault that they determined he was the best. And then they moved Donovan Jackson out there. So Justin Fry's coaching of the offensive line coupled with his poor recruiting, that's trash.
Take out the trash. Guys, I was all excited because I had a bet that I loved yesterday, and that bet was Ohio State in the third quarter. They had been outscoring opponents 84-0. 84-0 in the third quarter. Really thought I found something I loved and wanted to attack. Ohio State was getting the ball to start the third quarter. Kind of a slow first half, not a great first half, but they've been coming out like gangbusters in that third quarter. Well, the third quarter offense yesterday was absolute trash. It was a total of 23 yards. There was one completion. There was an interception. They were 0 for 3 on third down. And so that bet and that offense yesterday in the third quarter, that was trash.
When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash.
Guys, the bye week, preparations and adjustments. Just didn't see a lot of them. You saw a little bit maybe on the defensive line, a little bit of things to try to get more pressure on the quarterback. But not only were you really not prepared on the offensive line with Zen Michalski, you don't have a backup plan. We had this in the Cotton Bowl last year where Devin Brown, we had no backup plan for Devin Brown in that game. And they admitted it. They had no backup plan for Devin Brown. You talked about we're going to chew on this for 2 weeks. You must not have minded the taste very much because it didn't look like you did anything to get that taste out of your mouth or get rid of it. So the bye week adjustments and the bye week preparations, trash.
All right, it's trash that I cannot watch an Ohio State game without an egregious targeting penalty. And again, I put this on the replay officials. Why? Live, I get it. Arvell Reese is a big, strong, fast man. He came flying in there. I can see maybe you thought live that was helmet to helmet. That was a perfectly great defensive play. And then they review it. And I'm thinking, okay, they'll get it wrong. They'll say, we're gonna go with the call in the field. But then they took like 10 minutes. I'm thinking, wow, they're actually going to get this right. It took them 10 minutes to review this, and they still got it wrong. Replay officials, I have no time for them. It's the easiest job in the world. Whereas on-field refereeing is very, very hard. Officiating is very hard in football. Replay official, it is easy as heck. You've got like 12 different camera angles, high definition, slow motion. It's the easiest thing in the world, and they still mess it up. But let's focus on the targeting, why this is trash. The target moves, no pun intended, every game it seems like. And what is the spirit of the rule? What's the spirit of the rule? They want to cut down on the headhunters. Okay. If a guy's headhunting, get him out of there. What we saw yesterday with Arvell Reese, not the spirit of the rule at all. That's not targeting.
He hit him with his forearm first.
And I've never seen anything in sports where basically all of the power brokers agree something needs to be done and nobody does anything about it. The coaches, the ADs, the presidents need to all get together and be like, we are changing this. We're going to go with the spirit of the rule. If you're out there trying to take somebody's head off, we're going to kick you out of the game. Arvell Reese, that was just awful. That was trash.
That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage.
Oh, I love that. I love that drop. You know what? The trash segment really could be sponsored by the targeting rule. Because it's almost every single week there is a trash targeting rule call, right? Whether it's in the Ohio State game or just across college football. I hate it. I hate it too. Dave, it's disgusting. And what's even worse, it's a bad rule, but what's even worse is the suspension, right? Like, yeah. I know it's bad enough that it's a 15-yard penalty, but then also to be suspended for the first half of the next game, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy that it hasn't been changed. All right, that was actually going to be my trash, the targeting call, so I'm going to pivot a little bit. And I'm going to go with Kevin Stefanski and the Browns. I could probably just stop there and say, oh, that's trash. But I will continue on with my trash statement. So the Browns are 8-17 against the spread against AFC North teams under Kevin Stefanski. Of the 153 head coaches since 2003 to coach in at least one divisional game, Stefanski is the least profitable against the spread. In the wild card era, that's since 1990, no head coach has had a worse against the spread win percentage in more divisional games coached than Kevin Stefanski. The Browns in the division, they're trash.
Guys, I think it's trash people complaining about this matchup in the World Series. And I get you don't like the Yankees and the Dodgers, and they have the biggest payroll, and they should win all the time, yada, yada. But we've got both league MVPs in this series. We've got great pitching. We've got all of the superstars, which last I checked, in this country, that's what we want. We want to see the best. We want to see the greatest. We want to see superstars play. And the ending of these two games has been fantastic. Freddie Freeman, a walk-off grand slam in the 10th. We were at our post-show meeting after high school football overtime on Friday night, and I was like, did he just do that? Yeah, he sure did. And then last night, the Yankees have the bases loaded in the 9th inning, and the Dodgers get out of that jam to take a 2-0 series lead. Say what you want if you like these teams regardless. It doesn't matter. But this baseball World Series so far has lived up to the hype, and it is awesome. So if you're complaining about it, that's trash.
I love it because it's trash.
I'll piggyback on that. And I like Aaron Boone. Anyway, he came up with the Reds. I just love the way he played. I like Aaron Boone. Boy, did he mess up in game one of the World Series. And I said it at the time. This is not hindsight's 2020. I get that Garrett Cole has only pitched so many games since he came back, and he hasn't pitched more than 90 pitches very often since coming back. I don't care. It's Garrett Cole. He's one of the best pitchers in the game. We know this. He only had 88 pitches. He's dominating. What do you give up? Like 3 hits and no walks, something like that. Maybe 4 hits, no walks through like 6 1/3 innings. Aaron Boone takes him out. Even Derek Jeter was ripping that move. And you have to leave Garrett Cole in there. You can. Then there's a snowball effect. Then you're going to your relievers earlier than you should. You're burning out your bullpen. You better win the game if you do that. They lost that game. That was a trash move by Aaron Boone.
So I actually have a little honorable mention trash that I want to that I think will make Buckeye fans kind of happy, and it was from Thursday night watching Pitt Syracuse. Okay, so I sit down and I'm like, okay, this should be a really entertaining Thursday night college football game.
It was entertaining.
Rough night for Honda McCord.
And I see I see texts coming through like, all right, we're going to see what McCord's done. Because if you look at his stats at Syracuse, he throws for 300 or more yards every single game.
Because they don't run the ball.
And I did watch him play.
64 throws.
Yeah, and I did watch him play against Stanford earlier in the year, and they lost that game, Syracuse did.
Against a really bad Stanford team.
A terrible Stanford game. But okay, so I'm ready to watch McCord and this go up against this undefeated Pitt team. And McCord throws 3 pick sixes and 5 interceptions. So there were people texting before the game like, would you now, with these stats that Kyle McCord has going into the game, would you trade having Will Howard for having Kyle McCord back? And then you just watch a couple minutes of that game and you're like, no.
When people brought that up to me, now it's easy. I'm like, are we just looking at passing stats? Because
yardage. People were looking at yardage.
No, I know, but here's one of the problems with Kyle McCord. In addition to him having a lack of charisma, he reminds me a lot of David Bell, former Reds manager. Love saying former Reds manager. Nice guy and everything.
Great dance moves.
Not a leader of men at all. Has the charisma of like a dead rabbit. It's just a great dancer, Kyle McCord. Yeah, I got your sarcasm there. And here's the other thing about McCord. More importantly than the lack of charisma, he's a statue back there. He finished the season last year with negative rushing yards. I don't think I've ever seen an Ohio State. Now, it's stupid that in college they consider sacks against your rushing yards. They don't do that in the NFL.
Yeah.
But still, Scotty, I haven't seen an Ohio State quarterback finish with negative rushing yards. He has negative rushing yards again this year. So, yeah, you can look at his now you can look at his passing stats and laugh because he's got 11 interceptions, but even before this game, were people not paying attention to the fact that he's a complete statue back there? Whereas Will Howard, Ohio State has gone from a really bad team inside the red zone, really bad team from anything like 1st and goal, 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal, to a really good team. Why? Because of the threat of the quarterback run.
Man, it's so funny looking at these numbers. 35 of 64, 5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes, minus 32 rushing yards for Kyle.
Guys, real quick, I'm going to defend McCord just a second on this. There's no quarterback on the planet that should be throwing the ball as much as him. Not even Patrick Mahomes. I don't understand why these teams throw the ball so daggone much.
And what's funny, they amped it up after the 3 pick sixes. It's like they were at least trying to run the ball a little bit.
Listen.
So hold on. Let's have him work his way out of this. Like, you're going to have a 4th pick six if you're not careful.
It's like Scotty at the casino, double and triple down.
Let's go.
You just keep chasing your money, huh? Yeah, that's a great way to gamble and a great way to coach football. I'll tell you what. You know what's not trash? Is Scotty making people money and best bets next on the money.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Here, Heart Care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at MountCarmelForYou.com. Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at MountCarmelForYou.com.
Gambling too much or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to Maryhaven.com today. That's Maryhaven.com.
The NBA is back, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all of the action, Beam, because right now, FanDuel is giving all users 3 months of NBA League Pass, giving you access to all the games. All you have to do is catch every tip-off and every buzzer beater and place a $5 bet on the NBA. $5 gets you the NBA League Pass. There's going to be all kinds of things that you want. Maybe you're a Lakers fan. You like Bronny. You like LeBron playing together. Put a parlay together with him. Victor Wembanyama at San Antonio, what he's got. Maybe the Cavs. See where they can get Donovan Mitchell. Everybody getting the gang back together to make that playoff push. It's all there for you, Beam.
If you're new to FanDuel, we'll just visit FanDuel.com/juice. Get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 years and older, present in Ohio. After 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime, no refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Bo Bishop here. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala, High Bank Distillery, November 12th. It's bourbon, food, and fun with Brady Quinn, Bobby Carpenter, and me. The gala benefits the Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Get your tickets today at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at United Dairy Farmers. Registered U-drivers who buy specially marked products like hot breakfast sandwiches, fresh apple fritters, iced coffee, Coke, and Pepsi can play to win prizes instantly. Like freebies, $1,000 each week, and the $15,000 grand prize. Because at UDF is made for you. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
it.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Van Scoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Chevy.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas both think they're right. Chances are they're both wrong. On the Money presents Best Bets.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. If you need a driveway, garage, patio, even an in-ground pool, Maxima Concrete are the guys to call. Schedule a free estimate today at MaximaConcrete.com.
Once again, we appreciate all the listener participation today. So much fun. We appreciate you reaching out to us in the YouTube chat, on Twitter, at Dave Biddle, at ScottyVegas971. And then, of course, thanks to all the callers today. And you helped us get through kind of a tough morning. We did a little airing of grievances throughout the 2 hours, and we appreciate it. You can listen to the podcast where you get podcasts at On the Money. So we appreciate you. And by the way, if you like what you hear on Sunday mornings, we also have a show on Wednesday nights. And those are 8 to 9 Wednesday nights right here on The Fan. It is now our turn to give you our best bets to make. And throughout the show, we were talking about how Ohio State comes out as a 4.5-point favorite over Penn State. Well, that 4.5 number is quickly gone. In fact, it is now the spread has moved down to 3.5. So Ohio State is a 3.5-point favorite over Penn State for next weekend. To me, honestly, it feels like a 50-50 game. It really does. You and I have talked about that, Dave. It's almost a 50-50 football game, and so getting the 3.5 and getting that hook, kind of interesting as far as the points go. I do want to hand out a couple college football lines that I've already circled for next week, one of which is Pitt plus 6.5 at SMU. This is an undefeated Pitt team. They can run the ball. They've got a good quarterback, a transfer in from Alabama. They're playing really well. Plus 6.5. I really like that number initially. SMU a little bit banged up. They barely got by last night against Duke. They had a couple wide receivers go down. I think that number at 6.5, you should grab it now if you can, and because that's going to change relatively quickly in my mind. A couple other numbers out there. Indiana is a 6.5-point favorite at Michigan State. Indiana has been an absolute covering machine this year. They have just been making people money, including the two of us. So I'm going to get on that Indiana minus 6.5 at Michigan State. Michigan State devastated after a loss yesterday to Michigan. We'll see how they bounce back. I think Indiana minus 6.5 is the play. And Kurt Cignetti just gets it done. One other that I'm going to throw out at you for today. I'm going to hold my nose and do this. I am going to take the plus 8.5 with the Browns. I think there's going to be a little bit of a bounce back with Jameis Winston in there. Gosh, it's hard to do, but 8.5 is a lot of points. And throughout the NFL this season, when you're seeing these big spreads, you are seeing the points as the way to go. Holding my nose and taking the 8.5.
Go money line.
No, I'm not doing that.
All Bengals fans are behind you this week, Browns. Or you a united front against the Ravens. Let's go Brownies. You can even hear pregame coverage of the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, right after our show with Tyvis and the guys. And then you can hear the Cleveland Browns-Ravens game right here on 97.1 The Fan. Okay, my best bet, with Ohtani being hurt, now they say they think he's going to come back with the shoulder injury. It was partially separated or partially dislocated. Still, though, that would give me a little trepidation. The Yankees, if you think they can come back and win this series, they're getting plus 320. I just like the odds there. I feel like the Yankees are going to come back. I feel like they're going to at least get it to a Game 7, and they haven't played any home game yet. I think they're going to do well in New York. We're going to get to a Game 7, and then anything can happen. I like the value there, plus 320 with the Yankees to win the World Series. They're down 2-0, which is why you're getting those great odds, but I like the odds there.
Hey, we got to throw out some love to a listener because he won in a big big way this
Mark
week.
Condon.
One of our big-time listeners, Mark, what a win for you. So he did a $50 wager. It was $50 to win $44,800. And on Monday afternoon, he sent you and I a tweet and said, do I cash out? Okay. This ended up being $895 to 1 bet. He cashed out, won over $9,000. We love when listeners win.
And it's good he cashed out.
Yes.
Because who'd the Chargers lose to that I was surprised they lost to? Was it the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Yes.
Yep.
And I remember thinking, well, at least now you don't have to like root for the Ravens.
Yeah.
But the Ravens did win. If the Chargers would have won, maybe we would have given him bad advice. But tell you what, $9,000, way to go, Mark.
$50
Turn $50 into $9,000. Attaboy. And he made the smart move by cashing out. Listen to Scotty Vegas. What does Scotty Vegas do? He makes people money and himself. All right, that is our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for all of your calls to the show and your comments and questions on social media. We love hearing from you guys. For Scotty Vegas and Ryan Baker, I am Dave Biddle. Up next is pregame coverage of the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. This has been On the Money.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Breaking news coming Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
We all know Central Ohio's growing fast. It's making traffic worse and life more expensive. That's why voting yes on Issue 47 is so important. Issue 47 will help folks get to work faster and cheaper by creating Coda Rapid Bus Service. That means more routes, better hours, and more reliable service. That will expand access to transportation for everyone in our community, from the elderly to the disabled, to veterans and students. And Issue 47 will make our neighborhoods safer and more walkable by building 500 miles of sidewalks, trails, and bikeways. When we pass Issue 47, we'll get $1 billion in matching funds from the federal government to pay for it. We're already sending our tax dollars to D.C. Let's bring some of that money home to help our community. Issue 47 means safer neighborhoods and a better quality of life for our families. It's an easy call. Vote yes on Issue 47. Paid for by moving Central Ohio forward.
On sale now. Comedian Sarah Silverman, Postmortem Tour, live at Mershon Auditorium November 3rd.
Are you kidding me?
Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Sarah Silverman, live at Mershon Auditorium November 3rd. Grab tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row. Licensed